I want to start with a number that just jumped out of the research packet this week. 14 minutes.
14 minutes. That's the cost of an email.
The hidden cost of a single complex email.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the kind. You read it, you have to process what it's actually asking, you check a calendar, maybe a spreadsheet, and then you finally, draft a reply. 14 minutes. Now, if you do that 10 times a day, which, let's be honest, that's a slow day for most of us.
That's a vacation day.
Exactly. That is 2.5 hours gone. Just poof, vaporized.
And that's the manual drudgery we're talking about. It's not the work you were hired for. It's the work you do to get to the work.
And that is the friction point we are attacking in today's deep dive. We are looking at a stack of sources that promises to take that 14-minute cycle and we'll compress it down to maybe 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear here because I was skeptical when I first saw this.
Yeah.
The method they're proposing isn't just ask ChatGPT to write it.
No, not at all. If you are just asking a chatbot to write a reply, you're barely scratching the surface. You're missing all the actual leverage.
Okay.
The materials we are diving into today, specifically around no-code automations, argue that we need to stop treating AI like a search engine or, a novelty toy and start treating it like a copy-paste personal assistant.
Copy-paste personal assistant. I mean, admittedly, that sounds a little bit like marketing hype.
It does. I get that.
A personal assistant implies a level of autonomy that I just haven't seen in a text box yet. My actual assistant knows my tone, knows I hate 8 a.m. meetings, knows who I'm avoiding. Can software really claim that title just because I learned a new copy-paste trick?
And that's the fair skepticism. But the distinction the sources make is fascinating. It's really about the difference between a tool mindset and a workflow mindset.
A tool versus a workflow.
And getting from one to the other doesn't require learning Python or anything. It just requires, your clipboard and a shift in how you structure your requests.
Okay, so let's get into that mindset shift, because the source material uses this graphic that I found really interesting. On one side, under the old way, it just shows a hammer.
Right, the hammer. And this is how most professionals, even, the really tech-savvy ones, are using AI right now. They treat it like a tool.
A single tool for a single job.
Exactly. You have a nail, let's say a messy meeting transcript. You hit it with the AI hammer, summarize this, you get a summary, done. You put the hammer away.
Which is useful. I mean, I use the hammer every day. It saves me a ton of reading time.
Oh, it is useful, but it's disjointed. It requires you to be the connective tissue. You have to read the summary, then decide what to do next, open your calendar, find the dates, draft the invite. The cognitive load is still entirely on you. You're the CPU processing all the logic. The AI is just a fancy typewriter.
Okay, so in the hammer model, I'm doing the thinking, and the AI is just doing the heavy lifting on the text itself.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Now, contrast that with the new standard they talk about, the assistant model. In this model, you aren't doing single tasks. You are chaining them.
Chaining them.
The AI reads the transcript, then it identifies the dates, then it cross-references the tasks, and then it drafts the email for you.
But hold on. If I'm sitting there pasting these prompts one after another, am I not still the connective tissue? I'm still the one driving the bus. It feels like I'm just swapping one kind of manual work for another.
You are driving, but you aren't building the engine from scratch every single time. The workflow concept here is about defining a process input refinement action that you can repeat almost blindly. You're not sitting there thinking, what do I say to the AI now? You are just moving data down a pipeline you already built.
So it's less about the AI being smart enough to guess what I want and more about me being organized enough to tell it the steps in advance.
That is the critical insight.
Yeah.
Yes. The AI is only as good as the workflow you put it in. A hammer can't build a house, but an assembly line can.
Input, refinement, action.
Yep. It's that simple. And the reason this matters, the reason we call it automating, is momentum. In the old way, you stop after every step to think. In the workflow way, the output of step 1 immediately becomes the input for step 2.
Which brings us to the mechanics, because the promise here is no coding required. And usually when I hear that, it means no coding required, but you need to buy this $50 a month subscription to some app.
Right.
But the sources here are claiming you can do this with just, the vanilla chat interface.
Correct. And this is where we get into the copy-paste automation loop. It sounds almost too simple to be effective, but the logic behind it is really solid. The source outlines a 4-step cycle.
Okay.
Step 1, copy text, that's your source, like an email. Step 2, paste to AI with a specific instruction. Step 3, copy the result.
And step 4 is just paste it back in.
Paste that result right back in as the input for your next request.
This is the chaining concept. But here's the million-dollar question, and I think a lot of people wonder this. Why can't I just write one massive prompt? Why not just say, read this email, summarize it, extract the dates, and write a reply? Why all this hopscotch?
That is the most common point of failure. It really is. The sources touch on this, and it comes down to something called context drift, or basically cognitive overload for the model.
It gets
It
confused.
tries to average out the request. When you ask it to do 4 different things at once, read, analyze, extract, create, the quality just degrades. It might write a great email but miss a date, or it finds all the dates but the email sounds like a robot wrote it.
So it hallucinates or just gets lazy because the prompt is too dense?
Exactly. By breaking it down, by chaining,
Yeah.
you force a quality check at every single gate. You get the summary first, you look at it, because yes, okay, now extract the dates. It's error correction by design.
That makes sense. It's like checking your math before you move to the next problem in a test.
Yeah.
If you get the first part wrong, the whole equation just collapses.
And to visualize this, the source material offers what they call the simple workflow formula, which they show as a triangle. It's a great mental model to keep in your head.
I'm looking at the diagram now. It's a triangle with start simple in the middle.
Right. At the top point of the triangle, you have summarize. This is the understand phase. You are just asking the AI, what am I looking at? You're stripping away all the noise.
Okay, step 1, understand.
Then you move down to the right corner, extract. This is the data phase. Pull out the names, the deadlines, the dollars, get the facts.
And the last corner.
Finally, the left corner.
Yeah.
Draft, the action phase. Now you create something new with that data.
And the order matters here, obviously.
It's non-negotiable. You cannot draft a good response if you haven't extracted the right data, and you can't extract the right data if you haven't understood the context. The triangle forces you to respect the order of operations.
So let's take this off the theoretical whiteboard and into the real world, because we all have that one thing that just haunts us, the inbox avalanche.
Oh.
The source specifically calls out, use case 1, taming the inbox.
We've all been there. You get a long, messy email thread. Maybe it's been forwarded 6 times. The actual important stuff is buried under 12 best regards and 3 different fonts.
And usually, I just stare at it for 10 minutes trying to figure out if I even need to reply.
Yeah.
Or I skim it and miss the one sentence where my boss asked me a direct question.
That's the old way. So here's the workflow approach.
Yeah.
Step 1, the input. You take that entire messy thread, you copy it, you paste it. Your prompt is simple. Summarize this in 3 bullets.
Okay, so now I have a clean summary. I actually know what's going on.
Step 2, the transformation. You take that summary, or you just continue in the same chat, and you prompt, turn this into a to-do list. Now you've got structured data.
And then step 3 is just the action.
You prompt, draft a professional reply confirming these tasks, and boom, you're done. You've gone from a mess to a sent email in probably, 45 seconds.
And the key phrase the source uses here is extracting signal from noise. That's really what we're doing.
Exactly. And this applies even more perfectly to our second use case, the meeting. Or more specifically, the chaos that happens after the meeting.
Oh, I love the example text they provided for this. Can I read this? Because this sounds like every project management email I have ever received on a Friday afternoon.
Please do.
Okay, here's the input. It's just a wall of text that says, "Hi, everyone. Just a reminder that we need to finish the client presentation by Thursday. Sarah will update the slides, Mike needs to confirm the meeting time, and John should send the budget numbers. Oh, wait, actually, budget is next week. We also need to book the conference room. Let's try to meet tomorrow afternoon to review everything."
It's just unstructured chaos. It's a stream of consciousness. If you're skimming that on your phone, you might miss something critical.
Oh, for sure. So how does the workflow fix this?
We apply the formula. We structure clarity out of that chaos. We ask the AI to take that text and split it into 3 distinct outputs. First, the summary. Finish presentation by Thursday. Meet tomorrow afternoon. Second, the tasks. And this is key. You ask for a markdown table.
Wait, why a markdown table specifically?
Because it forces the AI to be rigid. It creates a grid. Column 1, owner. Column 2, task. Column 3, deadline. So you get Sarah slides Thursday, Mike time ASAP, John budget next week. You didn't have to hunt for that.
And then the draft is the final step.
Write a confirmation email to the team listing these tasks. And just like that, in under 2 minutes, you have converted total chaos into accountability.
Accountability is the key word there. That messy paragraph hides responsibility. It lets people say, oh, I didn't see that part. The table. It exposes it.
Precisely. And they take this a step further with post-meeting workflows. Imagine taking a raw transcript of a Zoom call, which is, notoriously messy, and using the same logic.
So you paste the whole transcript in.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
And you ask the AI to identify the decisions made. Project B delayed, budget C increased. Then create that same action items table, and finally draft the follow-up email.
So you're not just summarizing the meeting. You're effectively acting as the project manager. You're assigning the work on the spot.
And think about the executive report use case they mentioned. This is for the managers listening. You get a 20-page report. You do not have time to read every single word.
I definitely don't. No.
So the workflow here is about compression. Input. 20-page report. Prompt. Give me a 1-paragraph summary and the top 3 decisions needed.
Ooh.
You're giving leadership the bottom line immediately. You aren't just forwarding a PDF and saying FYI, which is frankly lazy. You're providing value by synthesizing the information.
That is huge. Top 3 decisions needed. That's managing up. That makes you look incredibly on top of things, even if you used AI to help. It effectively turns you from a writer into an editor.
That's a great way to put it. You are editing the AI's work, which is always, always faster than staring at a blank page.
Okay, I want to circle back to the numbers because we started with that 2 hours a day stat, and I want to make sure we all understand the time audit they provide. Is this real math or is this, consultant math?
It holds up if you actually look at the breakdown. The math is pretty ruthless. Let's look at the manual method for just one complex email. You read it. That's 5 minutes.
Right.
You summarize it in your head, 3 minutes. You list out the tasks. 2 minutes. You draft the reply. 4 minutes. Total time, 14 minutes for one email.
14 minutes. And if you have 10 of those a day, that's nearly 2.5 hours just on email. And that doesn't even account for the switch cost.
The switch cost.
Yeah, the mental energy it takes to switch from reading mode to calendar mode to writing mode.
Yeah.
That drains your battery faster than the actual work.
Absolutely. Now look at the AI method using the workflow. Paste and prompt. 30 seconds.
Okay.
Review the output, because you always review.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Total time, 2.5 minutes. You have gone from 14 minutes to 2.5 minutes.
That is staggering. But there has to be a catch, right? To make this sustainable, you can't be writing fresh prompts from scratch every single time. If I have to type, please summarize this email and then extract the dates every time, I'm going to get annoyed.
That's correct. And that brings us to the concept of templates. The source advice is very explicit. Don't reinvent the prompt.
So once a workflow works, you freeze it. You save it.
You save it as a recipe. Think about it like cooking. You don't guess the ingredients for a cake every time you bake one. You use the recipe card. If you find a prompt structure that perfectly summarizes your weekly team updates, you save that text.
In a note somewhere or a text expander.
Yep. The source gives a great template structure. Summarize, insert text here, and list action items for target audience. You just swap out the pieces.
So you're building a library of these little digital assistants that you can call on whenever you need them.
Yes, and consistency is key. If you use the same template, you get consistent quality and speed. You aren't guessing if the AI will understand you this time. You know it will. You've tested the recipe.
So we've covered the mindset assistant, not tool. We've covered the mechanism, the copy-paste loop. We've covered the triangle summarize, extract, draft, and we've seen the math. Before we wrap up, I want to look at the digital assistant checklist they provided. It's a great summary.
It really boils it down to 4 points. Number 1, AI is a workflow engine, not just a chatbot. Stop chatting with it, start processing with it.
Number 2, use copy-paste to chain steps. Don't stop at the first answer, and don't cram everything into one prompt.
Number 3, turn inputs, like emails, into outputs, like tasks. Always move toward action.
And number 4, save templates to repeat success.
It's a very actionable list. It's not, abstract philosophy. It's stuff you can do right now.
And that is the final call to action from the source. Start with your next email.
Right. Don't wait for some massive project.
Right.
The very next email you get that looks even a little bit complicated, try the loop. Copy it, paste it, ask for a summary, just see what happens.
It's a very low-risk experiment.
The worst that happens is you waste 30 seconds. The best that happens, you realize you never have to manually parse a project update ever again.
Looking at all this, it makes me think about how we define work. For so long, work has meant the process, the typing, the sorting, the reading.
Yeah.
But this sort of shifts the definition of work to the outcome.
That's the bigger picture.
The decision, the strategy.
Exactly. If you aren't spending 2 hours a day on email admin, What are you spending that time on? You're spending it on creative thinking, on relationship building, on the things that actually move the needle.
Or, just actually eating lunch away from your desk for lunch.
That too. That is a very valid use of saved time.
So here's where we leave you today. The tools are there. The copy-paste personal assistant is sitting right there on your computer, waiting. The question isn't whether the tech works. We know it works. The question is, if you can copy and paste, you can automate your day. So what is the first manual drudgery task you are going to kill tomorrow?
I'm betting it's that weekly status report.
Oh, absolutely. Consider it gone. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Go save some time.